And by the way, Ahmed, coming to you, Musa Faki Muhammad was little known because the front runners were Ambassador Amina Mohamed and Abdullahi Bathily from Senegal. Then just emerged Musa Faki Muhammad. Yes, Ahmed, you had a point. Your handles up.
You know, Ayub, I've said this before, that patriotism is the last refuge of a scoundrel. Yeah. And I think that the Kenyan public deserves a nuanced and educated analysis of the situation. This is not a political party rabble-rousing, trying to get a seat in the Kenyan parliament or in the Kenyan state or things like this. This is the AU. Now, for personal issues, I've been a long-time aide to the Prime Minister. People call me his son. My family saved his life. Transported him to Uganda. He's a family friend. But I disagree with him. He's disagreed with other people. And I don't believe that this AU thing is a good fit for the old man. I think that he's...
Why so, given his vision?
Well, I mean, first of all...
He outlines Pan-Africanism, peaceful, democratic, and... Yes, Ahmed, peaceful and democratic, secure Africa, enhance intra-Africa trade, strategic partnership, the Lion of Africa moment he talked about. Why is he not the best fit for the job?
All those things are good. The man's history is secure. That's not a question. Many of us have spent our lives fighting for that vision. But the issue that we are talking about, and
Dr. sounds very bitter.
Yeah.
What is the issue?
I'll hold him to account.
Can I just finish?
Can we have
so you don't make me drop
objective arguments?
So again, I go back to my point of having a nuanced debate and not a rabble-rousing debate. The fact of the matter is, in my opinion, that the fit is not good for him. I also think that there's domestic politics involved. And the old man has gone into a coalition with the current president. And there is a political plan to make sure that Mr. Odinga stays in the AU so that there is an open field here and much more room for the president to wiggle politically when the elections come. And Kenyans need to know about this kind of discourse. Secondly, I think that Mr. Odinga, there's no question what my learned friend on the right here said about his qualifications and who he is. Nobody is arguing on those points. What we are saying is that the international community and the African continent right now are going to stack themselves against the Kenyan candidate and vote against him because of certain reasons. And what's the first reason? We've talked about this before, that the African continent, unfortunately, in a very neo-colonial way, is structured in a way there is Lusophone, there is Anglophone, there is a cultural divide between faiths. I'll give you a little tweet in which the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spoke about, and Mr. Mukhisa Kitui joined that debate, when he said that the African continent and the states here are going to vote purely on the interests of states. This is a bizarre twist of something called rational choice theory in economic theory. So, my learned friend on the left knows so well. But that's not a fact. That's an important fact in making a decision in the African Union. However, there are certain cultural issues that are involved. There's a divide between North Africa, South Africa, Central Africa. There are political issues that are between the states. There are differences in vision. There are differences in religion. There are differences in history. All these things come up to cause a situation in which I believe, in my opinion, that it's going to make our candidate not win this election. So it's not that I'm opposed to Mr. Odinga as a person, or I'm opposed to him as being a candidate of the AU. As a public intellectual, our responsibility is to speak in a way in which the Kenyan people can see alternative views. Mr. Kaluma has an alternative view. My learned friend on the left has an alternative view. This view says that because of those political economic issues, we are not going to get that position.
That's all.